Hello everybody, welcome back to Hair and Now. If you are new around here, my name is Courtney Lane, and right now I am about as delighted as possibly can be because it is finally autumn. The temperatures are finally dropping, which means, among many other wonderful, glorious things, I can wear my Icelandic wool cloak once again. I have been waiting all summer to break this out. I did purchase this Icelandic wool in Iceland on my trip to visit the Necro Pants. If you are interested at all in that story, make sure to head over to that video after this one. But the second reason why I am so very, very delighted today is because I have a box and I'm gonna open it. Now this box is from Curiosity Antiques. As per the usual, I will put all of the seller's information down in the description so you can go and check them out. All vendors whom I open boxes from on this channel have my stamp of approval. I have been a very happy customer with everything I have opened thus far on this channel. So let's see what we have today. Now, although I have purchased from this vendor before, this was a very special purchase because it was part of the Brimfield show. Experienced antique collectors will know that Brimfield is a very, very big antique market and a very big deal due to reasons pertaining to 2020. It was not in person this year and has been online as of late. So, look at that, a beautiful thank you note with their beautiful Curiosity logo from our online Brimfield show. Oh, just as I was expecting. Okay. Look at how beautifully this is wrapped. This is truly the VIP antique experience. Okay. Look at all these peanuts. That's the best part of unboxing. Did you really unbox anything a little bit fragile if you didn't shower yourself in the packing peanuts after? I think not. Now then, this specific piece is something, I kid you not, I've been looking for years. I very rarely just purchase antiques as an impulse buy. Normally, it's something I have had my eye on for a while, sometimes very specific items that I have been intentionally searching for if they're on the rare side or just don't pop up for sale very often. And this appears, as you can see, to be a book, a tome of sorts. But this is in fact a magazine. Now, if you've seen my video about Sears, which is also on this channel available to watch, the Sears catalog is a tome. It's basically a phone book. So the Victorian catalogs and magazines are not the catalogs and magazines that we are used to in this day and age. They are all basically large books. And there's a very special reason why I've been looking for this magazine. For one, many of these magazines just have the most beautiful cover. Look at how gorgeous that is. Really, so many Victorian books have just stunning, like marbled art on the covers. Okay, so this, as you can see, is from the year 1860, and it is Peterson's magazine. Now, these magazines, this is actually my very first magazine, but there were very few texts from the Victorian era that were books especially dedicated to teaching hair work. And I have, after many years of searching for those as well, I have the two most prominent books that teach about how to make hair work. But many of these magazines had individual articles about making your own DIY hair jewelry. And so I am always on the hunt for the original text from magazines like this, especially when they talk about hair work, when they teach the reader how to make their own. Some of these magazines you can actually explore in online archives, so many of these I have read the article in an online context, but for my personal collection, I love to actually have the original text as well. So since it is so big, and I'm looking for one specific portion that refers to hair work, it might take me a little bit of time to get there, so I will speed it up while I search. So as I flip, I also must say this book is in wonderful condition for the age. I always need to be careful when first opening a brand new Victorian era book, because even if it's still fully intact, there might be individual pages or sections that are completely very loose, but the binding on this is really, really well intact. I'm quite pleased. Now, many of these magazines were very multi-purpose, and you will find a whole bunch of different things in here. Many of the pages are dedicated to just short stories and poems that you can read for entertainment. They also very often have illustrations of the fashions of the time. And then, of course, sometimes DIY projects, ways to learn a new skill or new craft, maybe recipes. Some of the magazines were even deemed to be ladies' magazines, and some of those are where you'll especially start to find some instructions on making hair work. One really common one that maybe you've heard of is Godey's Ladies Magazine. That's a very common one as well. We have not hair work, but new style in dressing the hair. That was also something you'll see very often in these magazines. There's a moth flying around in here, and it literally just ran headfirst right into the camera. I don't know if you saw it, but maybe you heard it. It was very loud. Hello, friend. You'll be much happier outside, I assure you. So just as I happen to be passing, I'm not reading very intently or anything, but I happen to see a poem entitled Morning. Morning by a Miss J.E. Mott. Gone, 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 a funeral wail for the dead, but alas, that my heart should say such words, the saddest that ever were said. Gone, 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 I had never thought it could be. How should I dream that the bitterest grief would come with its blight to me? Gone, 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 oh my heart, if thou hadst but known, the love in thy depths should have changed each look and spoken in every tone. Gone, 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 where my sorrow cannot avail, though mine eyes are heavy with useless tears, my cheeks with repentance pale. Gone, 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 the past I can never undo, and my hasty deeds and my hasty speech, alike I must vainly rue. Gone, 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 my lips to her own I may press, but chiseled and white and as marble cold, they feel not the mute caress. Gone, 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 oh, I wonder if she can know, if the heaven above, where the spirit dwells, how my bruised heart aches below. Gone, 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 would it add to her perfect joy to feel that, alas, too late my love is given without alloy? Gone, 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 uplifting my arms to the sky, look down from thy resting place, beloved, in passion, grief I cry. Gone, 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 poor heart that is never still, they are making thy grave with hers beneath the violets on the hill. Sobering. Oh my goodness, everyone, I found a hair pun. It says a barbarous experience. Ha! You know, Mr. Peterson, what a rage all the girls have had for cutting off their hair. Okay, I'm gonna need to come back to that one for sure. So we have arrived. Weaving or plaiting hair ornaments by Mrs. Jane Weaver. What a fortuitous name for someone weaving hair. Jane Weaver. Number 1, it leads with so many subscribers to Peterson have desired instructions on this subject that we have compiled a series of 4 articles beginning with this number. So this is one of, as they say, 4. Very first look here, we can tell there's a picture of the back of a woman's head. There's a picture of a bobbin down here, and on the other side we have a hair braiding table. So this is the table work technique. I have many videos on the table work technique already. This is just one more reference guide for us. So within the very first page, it begins by explaining length of hair. And as a modern hair artist, this is a question I always get. This is kind of the vague answer that I always have to get, which they're saying is, it depends. They're saying that you can use very small amounts of hair and do smaller pieces like an earring or a brooch, or you can make several different small braids and attach them together with jewelry findings. But it does state here that for an entire loop, for, let's see, I believe they said a bracelet, I lost it now, needs at least 8 inches, which is about right for anything of substantial length with the table work technique. 8 inches or more, probably more, especially if you're going for like a long necklace. You'll probably need quite a lot more. No, here it is. They were referring to a ring being 8 inches, and they say a full-size bracelet requires 20 to 24 inch hair. That one again is iffy because you can certainly use half that length and do 2 braids and join them together. So really a lot of this is up to the creativity of the artist and the skill of the braider. What I do especially like about this one is that it describes the table almost as if someone were going to have the table made for them, which was not outside of the realm of possibility at all, but it breaks down the rough sizes necessary for the table, including the fact that the surface must be perfectly smooth, which is true. You do not want your hair being caught in any splinters, but should stand about 3 feet tall with 4 thin legs, the circular top about 14 inches in diameter, and the hole in the center about 5 inches in diameter. About 3 dozen leaden weights, each weighing about 3/4 of an ounce. So that is a thing. They did use lead weights. Not the material I would have chosen personally. So we are now on the second page, and we have yet to learn anything about actually weaving the hair. It is all preparation. How much hair do you need? What does the table need to be like? How do you clean the hair? Which, honestly, for the table work technique especially, there is a lot of preparation that goes into it, and just getting all of the strands cleaned and counted and affixed to the weight and affixed to the table. It is a lot more preparation than the other hair work techniques. So it is now referring to the, they say, tube, which if you were to look at the braiding table, you see there is one sort of needle, just a pole right through the center there. And it's saying here, instead of the ordinary tube used for weaving, they are going to sort of DIY their own using satin and wire. I wonder if this is this particular author's just preferred mold to braid the hair around, or if this is just designed specifically with the DIY crafter in mind. Like, you aren't going to buy anything specialty, let's make our own. That could make sense in a magazine like this. But that's very, very interesting. So I have, as I mentioned, I have read the Art of Hairwork, the Mark Campbell book, as it's most commonly referred to amongst us hair people, is the most exhaustive resource about these braiding table techniques. But none of these resources are excellent. They're very wordy, they're a little convoluted, but just listen to this one tiny fragment of how to make the braid, and you can tell me in the comments how perfectly you've wrapped your mind around how these are braided. Take strand A immediately on the left of the cross and carry it over strand D and C in the group to the right of the cross. Lay it down in the place of strand B, move this ladder onto the A next to it, and lift up the strand before lying there over D and C of the second group to the right, and put it down on B, removing the strand there already to the A next it, and carrying strand A onto the third group in a similar manner, so work all the groups round to the cross again. So yeah, when I say that the Victorian era resources for making these aren't good resources for learning, that's what I'm talking about. You certainly can learn using these. I have done so myself, others have done so themselves, but it takes a lot of mental gymnastics to really visualize what they mean, and it can take a lot of time just trying to figure it out. And there we have it. It is truthfully just about 2.5 pages. It ends right there. About 2.5 pages, one of 4 articles that they claim to have made in Peterson's magazine. I am just absolutely chuffed to bits to have my own copy of this resource, and you can bet I will be looking for the Peterson's magazines that have articles 2, 3, and 4 as well as any copies of the Godey's Ladies books or other magazines from the era that had these, because I already found a couple of differences in descriptions on how to do these, the tools to use, and it's just really fun for me to cross-reference the actual resources from the era to see how people were learning this in the home. So I'm delighted. I have a very pretty book. Thank you so much again to Curiosity Antiques. A monumental thank you to my supporters on Patreon. If you yourself are curious about learning the art of hairwork, I do have a tier where you can access video tutorials over on Patreon, because believe you me, when I was going through the process trying to learn how to do all of these techniques, it was not easy, and I really want to keep this art form alive, so I am trying to make video resources and more modern descriptions of how to do these techniques in an attempt to keep them alive and just to make it more accessible for people to learn. So definitely head over there if you're interested in that, and I will see you guys next time.